Starting the stream.
Yeah,
Welcome to another episode of Hoosiernerds podcast. It's Kris and Chris.
it's the Chris show with
It's the
us
Chris
for
show. You
Chris.
might get another one. The three of them might do another episode on
Really,
Wednesday. But today, Monday, is the only day I could do anything.
I am not looking. I think it's asking a lot, but you never know. I mean, we'll see.
You know what? I have hope. If
People
we
have
can put up.
lives.
People have lives.
I don't. I've got no life, but I mean, like
I
people
was about
have
to
lives.
say, who are you talking to?
Yeah, I don't have a life. I
But
can't.
you're saying people have lives, not including you.
That people does not include Chris with a K. No, I
Um.
I done screwed myself for this weekend.
So what happened? I know you went to Headless Horseman this past
Okay,
weekend.
so like when the Headless Horseman tickets went on sale in September.
Explain what the Headless Horseman is to the
Okay, so
non-Indiana people.
it's
There's
the
like
Headless
two of
Horseman
them.
Festival. So we have this old community, like it's like a living, like not
It's
living.
a living history
It's a living
museum type of thing.
history like museum like thing that you can go and see. It's called Connor Prairie. I have never been to Connor Prairie
I've
as
been there.
it's Connor Prairie. Let's
Oh,
put it
you
that
never
way.
gone to just Connor Prairie?
I've never gone to just Connor Prairie, but I hear it's really cool.
It is. I went. It's a big field trip place.
It
Think of a
really is.
place like all the kids would go for field trips, and it's field. It's a. That's where they make their money. Is field trips.
Exactly. Yeah, field trips. They do symphony on the prairie. You can go watch symphony in the
They do
symphony.
like hot air balloon stuff too in the
Yeah,
summer.
they have a hot air balloon you can ride there too. Except
Hmm.
that wasn't open that night. Maybe it was too windy. But anyway,
Probably.
so they do the headless every October. They have this headless horseman festival, and they have a couple of corn mazes. They have a trail of tur that you can walk through, which it wasn't really very terrifying, but it's Connor Prairie. It's very family. It is very family friendly. Let's put it
I
that
was
way.
gonna say it's not gonna be scary because it's like going to like Disney for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween.
Right. Exactly. So there's that. You can do. They had a magic show, which was really good actually. It was kind of funny. But so we went to the magic show. They have a guy that does like a talk of the legend of Sleepy Hollow, like a verbal thing. He
Oh,
talks.
that's cool.
Yeah. They have a marionette show. We missed the marionette show, and then they show the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, the cartoon. Like the Disney cartoon.
Hmm.
You can watch it if you want. They have games and stuff for kids to play, like they have Putt Putt and Plinko, and they have the apple ride. Where the spinning apples.
Hmm.
They have that. Some picture taking areas. They have a few like a little souvenir booth you can buy stuff at, and then they have a hayride. The hayride goes back through the living history part of it. Like with the houses and
Yeah.
stuff, and that's where you see the headless horseman. It's really neat. And the guy really doesn't have a head, and he wields a sword. It's kind of cool. So
How does he ride the horse then?
I am guessing it's fake.
Well,
Honestly,
yeah.
I call fake news. I don't
He
think
probably wears. It's probably like a jacket a little higher up on himself. But
right. It's fake news. It's not really headless, but I mean, who knows? But anyway, so I bought tickets when they went on sale in September
mhm.
for October 14th to go.
Next week.
We just picked a date, right?
Yeah.
So Josie can't go. Josie's our sidekick, and she's been on the show a few times. She's my buddy when I want to do stuff, um, like record store or vintage shopping or things like this. It's the only time, or we go get ice cream. That's the basis of everything. So she's like my kid. Anyway, so she got a job, of course, and she was scheduled. Although she asked for it off, they scheduled her for it anyway, which from 1 to 9. What a shitty schedule to work 1 to 9, right?
Hmm.
So she tried to she put in to get like somebody to trade with her, but ain't nobody gonna work on a Saturday from 1 to 9, like
No.
voluntarily. So I'm like, she was off on Saturday. I'm like, we'll just go Saturday. So I bought tickets to Saturday without reading the fine print on my tickets for next week that tickets could be exchanged for another day. I didn't know this. I thought, because it kept saying no refunds. All I read was no refunds. I didn't know you could change the day of your trip. So I spent money, which was $62, which isn't bad. It's $31 a person.
Yeah.
They get you in the festival and the hayride, which is like 24 to get in, and it's 7 for the hayride. So that's not that big of a deal. No, it's not. So, because I didn't read the small print because I'm stupid, because I'm a guy.
Well, we're men. We don't read the fine print.
We don't read the small print. No, never. So now I'm stuck with 2 tickets for next Friday or Saturday's Headless Horseman Festival at Prairie, and like I have nobody to ask whatsoever. Like, not even for like a date, but not a date because you go just as friends, kind of thing. Like, I don't even know anybody to do that. So, they're up for sale. All I want is face value. I mean, it's just an email.
Yeah.
It's just a QR code. Is all it is. It's all it is. You take your phone up there, they read the QR code, and you go in, and that's it. Then they read the QR code to get to the trail for the hayride.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun. I mean, we had a good time. Food's overpriced. I bought a $3 chocolate chip cookie, and it was freezer. It tastes like it was freezer burnt.
Probably was.
Oh yeah, it was gross. And then the hot chocolate was good. She had hot cider, but $5 for a little cup is a little bit steep. So
yeah, that is a little on the expensive side. Let's be honest.
Right, but like I said, we did the magic show. It was about 30 minutes, and we had a good time. We did the terror of trail or trail of terror or whatever it was, and it's a good time. It is a good time. It's a good place to take a family. She had never been before, and she wanted to go. So
yeah,
we planned this last year, and she swallowed a piece of metal. I don't know how, but she had a really like it was like it upset her stomach really bad for like a week and a half. And it was hard to get tickets last year anyway. I'm guessing it was because it was first year back because of COVID.
Yeah, probably. Everybody's wanting to go.
Right. So now there's tickets available. So
money.
I guess I should have waited till, But how was I supposed to know she was going to get a job and they weren't going to let her off?
She was not. I don't want to say it, not in a mean way, but she was not one to get a job, in my opinion.
No, yeah, well, right. We weren't expecting it. Like, that's why we went ahead and bought tickets because, she's put her application in. She's had all these kind of job interviews and nobody's ever called her back. And then, but it does seem kind of crappy because, like, she asked for 3 separate days off, right?
Yeah.
She didn't get 1 day off she requested.
Oh, Lord.
But she's got off she wanted off tomorrow, right?
Mm-hmm.
She worked yesterday. She's off today. She works. So she asked off for Tuesday, tomorrow, and this Saturday, the 14th, right?
Yeah.
So she worked yesterday. She's off today. She works tomorrow. She's off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and works Saturday.
Jeez.
Is that
Where's
crappy?
she working?
I'm not going to disclose where she's working.
Oh, well, text it to me.
It is a retail outlet here in town.
Oh, I think I remember. I think you brought it up before.
And I told her, I said, if you want, work there for another month or so, get a little bit more experience. There, I texted it to you.
I got you.
And I said, start putting I said, now you have experience, so you're more liable to get hired somewhere because you have retail experience.
Well, the thing I hate it because everybody's like, oh, everybody's hiring, but then you put in your applications and,
right.
No one
what are they looking for? Exactly. Well, her mom's got an in. Her mom used to do some retail work in the mall, at a store in the mall. Yeah. So she's like, I could probably put her name in and they would probably hire her. And I think then she was like, they're a little bit more better off as far as scheduling or asking off and giving you the day off. And I've never had issues getting day. I mean, I had asked for days off when I worked at the, when I drove my bus.
Uh-huh.
And then I go in there and I'm on the schedule and I'm like, but I said, why didn't I get this day off if I asked for it off? Oh, you did ask for it off? Okay, we'll take it off then. That was the response I got.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember being like, hey, I haven't heard anything back about this day off. Well, then you're good. Take it off.
Exactly.
Like, I wanted. It's like I wanted to know earlier so I could plan things.
But I would, it seems to me. I mean, it's a retail store. You're not protecting the country. You're not. You know what I mean? Give the kid a day off.
Hmm.
Just one of them. And you asked for 3 days off.
I
Just
have to
offer.
admit, where she works, I don't want to say I go there a lot, but it is. We don't have one here in Richmond.
Yeah.
And it is one of my favorite places to go because they have my size.
They have
So
some
I
nice
like.
stuff in there.
They do. They ever since the rebrand, they're really good, and they have my size now, so I like to go there. But they seem to go through quite a few people.
Well, now you know why.
Hmm.
So.
And there's one person that's worked there for a while, and she seems kind of like a bee.
So she was working in the. Yeah, she was
Well,
working.
she.
She worked till like they. Do you know they work like early morning and after hours?
What do you mean?
Like, okay, so I've worked retail in the past,
Yeah,
right? Um, like she'll have to go in like at 6 o'clock.
they don't open up until like 10.
Right, but that's to stock the shelves with product.
Understandable. Why that early? Like going at 8.
And well, the other day she worked. She was supposed to work from like was it Friday night? She worked. She was supposed to work till 1 at night, 1 in the morning.
Oh my gosh, it's a retail store, not a liquor store. When I worked at the liquor store, you know what I did? As soon as at 1 o'clock, I locked the doors. It took me 10 minutes, maybe 15, depending on how busy we were, to stock the shelves. After that, I was out.
Well, they got out at 11:30 because I went and picked her up. So I did her mom a solid.
Not drive yet.
No,
Was
she.
this a weekday or a
It
weekend?
was it was Friday night.
Okay, I was gonna say I would have not have done that during the.
Well, I didn't. I wasn't going to do it either. So not during the week, but it was a Friday night, and I had something to give her anyway. So uh, I went and picked her up and took her home, and then. But yeah, so back to Headless Horseman Festival. It's a lot of fun. You should go, and if you live in the Indiana area, I have tickets for sale. So because I'm
Which
stupid.
you'll have like 3 days to talk to him by the time this podcast gets out.
Yeah, which I'm gonna eat them. I know I am.
Hey, it's all good.
I'm
We
not. I
all
can't. I
it
can't worry
happens
about
every
it. I
once in a
mean,
while.
it happened. I honestly wish I could like just think up some person and go, "Hey, do you want to go?" And then I know somebody. She works, or I don't. I've known her since high school, and she's the one that always has an excuse for why can't she can do stuff. And I didn't even bother asking her. And
Let
I
me
was
guess.
talking.
She replied saying, "Why didn't you ask me to go?"
No, she's like, I would go with you, but I have this trip I have to go on. Like she
Uh
drove.
huh.
I'm like,
I know somebody just like that.
I was like, I wasn't even gonna ask her. I just like we went to the Headless Horseman Festival. I was like telling, we were on Snapchat and I was chatting. I told her, hey, I went last night. It was a lot of fun. I said, but I still have tickets for this weekend. And I said, I know I'm going to get stuck with them. Well, I would go with you, but I have a trip. I was like, well, don't even bring it up. I wasn't even going to ask you anyway. So, like I said, and it's not like a theme park. So it's not like Kings Island where you can ask your buddy to go with you.
Yeah.
This you don't take another guy to this. You know what I mean?
No.
This is strictly a girl or like I would have thought I was like, oh, I could take my niece. My niece is 11, and I think she would enjoy it. But their fall break is next week, and I know they're going somewhere, so she's not going to be home. So can't even take my niece. So oh well, live and learn. I'm stupid. Read the small print at the bottom of the ticket.
Oh well, you know this time.
Well, because she was Josie's like, what do they have here that we can do? And I like so on the ticket that I had, I blew it up so I could snap or take a picture of the do a screenshot and send and text it to her, and that's
Yeah.
when I noticed it said if you cannot make the day, you can exchange your tickets for another day, and I'm like, and we were at Connor Prairie when I read that. I was like, God, I'm such a stupid ass.
Son of a biscuit.
So now I know that. But I did do that. That was fun though. So I recommend it. Go take your friends, take your wife, take your girlfriend, take kids.
Whatever you got.
Make sure they're your kids. Don't abduct a child and take them.
What? That's what I was going to do.
I don't recommend taking abducted children because they'll probably
You'll get
attack
found
you.
out.
Yeah,
Oh.
So
I want to talk about Ahsoka. The Ahsoka series is done. Like the end of the.
I've only got I can watch it. I still have 3 weeks to watch it if I want. So
Yeah, I mean it's okay. So let's start. I'm gonna talk Ahsoka from the beginning because I know I talked about the first couple episodes, but then I kind of stopped talking about it. So I'm gonna start. I'm gonna talk about Ahsoka from the beginning. Um, let me list it. Hold on, I gotta look at it. Let me put it in a list of. It's not bad, but it's not good. The show is not really about her, which is kind of
what?
sad. It's her name, but it was not really even about her. Like it's more about the what's it called? Star Wars Rebels. It's more about that cartoon characters. Like Sabine. Sabine is more of a main character than Ahsoka. And who may I do you know who Sabine is?
No.
Exactly. So me personally, I gave Ahsoka like a 7.5, 8 on the overall. But my biggest complaints, and this is coming from somebody who's watched almost everything Star Wars. There's a few things I haven't watched. I haven't watched a couple of the more cartoony cartoons, if you know what I mean. But I've watched pretty much everything, and I know kind of, I know what to know about the cartoons. Like I read the blurbs about, this is what you need to know about the ones I haven't watched. This is the first Star Wars show where you kind of have to watch, like, not even just like the movie. You don't have to watch the movies to really understand what's going on. You have to have watched the Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels. You would have had to watch both of those series to know what's happening, because they're bringing in stuff that's like, I don't know how to explain this to people that haven't watched the show, like what's going on.
So what's the point of watching it if I don't watch? So I have to watch Rebels to watch this?
No. You got to watch Clone Wars
Oh
and
yeah.
then Rebels and
Oh
then
hell no.
Ahsoka.
That's why. So that's stupid.
You got to watch Clone Wars because for two things: understand more who Ahsoka is, and two, they bring in Clone Wars they brought in from the books the father, and the brother and the sister.
Why can't they just run a scroll like they did for Star
Hmm?
Wars? And
Kimberly's in here yelling the show is never about Ahsoka.
well, I mean, but that's okay. So, like I said, why don't they run a crawl like they did the very, very, very first Star Wars, the one that I couldn't read because I was only 5 years old and I hadn't even been to kindergarten yet.
Because there's so much that goes on. So
But
the father, the brother.
you could still say, it is a time of whatever, Ahsoka, whatever, blah blah blah.
Anakin's.
Meanwhile, this person who is this is doing this. It can't be that hard.
No, it can't be. But at the same time, it would take a lot more than 3 paragraphs. But let me. So
So
they bring
run it.
in
So run one. It's different every episode.
maybe, but I don't think it would work still. But they bring in the father, the brother, and the sister. They are like the embodiment of the Force. So the father is the balance. The brother is the dark side. The sister is the light side. And the cartoons and Clone Wars, Ahsoka sort of becomes the daughter, and Anakin becomes the son. But now they're bringing them in where I think Anakin is going to be the father, because they go to another galaxy. Like they're not even in the Star Wars galaxy for half of this season. They go to another galaxy.
Okay.
And they find at the very end the bad guy from the one of the bad guys is standing on the statue of the father, looking off into the distance. But that is such a hard thing to explain. Like, you know, what happened in that, because that was like a 5 episode arc in the cartoon. That was like a big story in the cartoon.
Okay.
Um, Another thing they bring in is a robot who built pretty much probably 90 to 95% of all the Jedi stars or lightsabers for the last like 2,000 years. He knows every lightsaber that's ever been made because he helps the younglings make their lightsabers. So they bring him in randomly. Apparently, he survived Order 66. Um, and then the whole like a lot of the side characters are from Rebels, so you would have had to know what happened in Rebels. And like the whole thing of like them trying to go to the other galaxy. One is to find Thrawn, because Thrawn is the main bad guy in this one. Well, he went to the other galaxy because of what happened in Rebels, and they're also going after Ezra, who is a Jedi who tricked him into going basically to the other galaxy and getting trapped there. Thrawn is kind of like the heir to the Empire.
Is
He
that
is
the blue
like
guy?
that's the blue guy. He is
I keep
the
seeing
book. He
tweets or
is much
something.
more menacing in the books, but they don't. Those books don't exist anymore technically, at least in the lore aspect of it all. But the biggest complaint was, one, you would have had to watch everything up to then, like that. Some of the more niche things in the cartoons. Because let's be honest, have you seen any? As much as I've talked about it, have you ever watched Clone Wars?
Not too many of them. No.
And then, would you ever watch Rebels?
I mean, if I've got to watch all those to get caught up, no, I'm not gonna watch all those.
Now, don't get me wrong, you can get by with what's going on, but you want to understand a lot of it. Like, you would watch it and be like, what the heck is going on? What are these witches? Why is there magic now? Yes, the cartoon brought in the witches of Dathomir, which use the dark side of the force, quote unquote, as magic, but it's called magic instead of the dark side.
Ah.
And then they bring it. I feel like I'm hating on this show more than I'm liking it, but don't get me wrong, I really did enjoy the show as somebody who's seen everything. You know, it gave me my oh, what's the word I'm looking for? It made me help me relive the past of rewatching all these shows. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but you get the point, I hope.
Uh-huh.
But I'm really worried because it's Disney that Star Wars is going to fall into the same thing that's going to happen with, or that's happening with Marvel right now, where I don't care about watching everything anymore.
That's what I keep saying, don't I? Let's lay off of the stupid crap nobody cares about, and let's give us like new people or new stories or
So
maybe an old
one of the
story.
things
But
that is rumored is going to happen in the Ahsoka series. So Rebels and Ahsoka. Rebels brought it in, but Ahsoka kind of explored it more. Is something called the World Between Worlds. It's something like the Force people with the Force can access. Basically, lets you time travel. Ahsoka died in Rebels. Like, she died. Vader killed her. Well, they traveled back in time and saved her. The rumor is Dave Filoni and the people running Star Wars right now are gonna mess with the timeline and kind of delete the sequel, like Force Awakens and those three movies, because they're so hated. So they're gonna reset the Star Wars universe with a new,
well,
continuation.
they should have. They should have. The worst thing they done was make that guy killable and bring in the Emperor back. That should have never happened.
Yeah, they should never have killed Snoke, and they should have never brought the Emperor back.
They
I was
it was
okay with the
like it
Kylo
was
Ren being the big bad guy in the third
exactly.
one.
That's what I was getting ready to say. And don't make Luke so moody and stupid.
He felt the goodness in his father's heart, but yet Kylo had, or Ben Kenobi has one bad dream, and he's gonna chop his head off.
Well, okay, do the like instead of like I didn't mind him hiding away. I get that part. You
Oh
know what
yeah,
I'm
I
saying?
get that too. That's okay.
But once it starts with the training with what's her name
Right.
with Ray, he comes out of his shell, joins everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he should have
That's what
came
I
back
was
and joined everybody.
that's what I was expecting, and I didn't get, and I think it pissed off a lot of people. And then the
Yeah.
writing was bad with the they fly now, and I mean, it was just bad. It was just
And they built up so many characters in the Force Awakens to be something big, like Finn, and then they kind of just forgot about Finn. And I feel really
yeah.
bad because I really liked his character.
They did a Jar Jar on him, and it wasn't necessary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there were plans for Jar Jar, and everybody hated him, so they got
Well,
scrapped.
nobody hated
Which is
Finn.
justifiable, right? So it doesn't make sense why they did it to Finn.
Yeah. So what? No one hated Finn, so why did they Jar Jar him? Everybody hated Jar Jar. Well, I shouldn't say everybody, because I think a lot of the younger people, like my generation, don't hate Jar Jar.
It's the worst thing that ever happened to the Star Wars universe.
You know what's the worst thing that's ever happened in the Star Wars universe? You know what is the worst thing, Chris? The Christmas special. So don't even get on me about
No,
that.
he would fit in the Christmas special perfectly.
I have never felt more waste of my life than that, even with the riff tracks, than the Star Wars special.
It
I've
was the
never
seven.
wasted more time of
Everybody
my
was
life.
on cocaine in the 70s, so.
Yeah, and you could definitely tell because just look at Chewie's son,
Oh, yeah. Uh, well, I forget his name.
and then look at his dad or grandpa,
Right.
sitting there trying to look at nudie bags in front of the kid and the
It was a
daughter-in-law.
dancer. It was a dancer. It was like
Yeah,
a hologram dancer.
the hologram porno.
Yes.
He's not even getting off to his own kind. He's looking at Twi'leeks.
Well, I mean, hey, I don't know how to explain that.
You know, to join our friend group, you must watch the Halloween or the Christmas special.
Yeah, the Star Wars Holiday Special. I don't know. It is horrible, but they could have made. I think. I mean, nothing can save the how bad that those first two movies are. Uh,
I will still
Clone
fight
War
you to this
or
day. I will fight to this day. Attack of the Clones.
Attack
The
of the
second
Clones.
half is good. The second half of Attack of the Clones
It
is
is
good.
so boring. That whole
You're
I watched it
boring.
again and it is boring. I thought it was boring the first time I saw it, and this
Yeah. And
justified
then
it.
as soon as they get to Geonosis, it picks right up. It's like, all right, here we go, babe.
Yeah, but that whole situation with C3PO in the factory lasted way too long. I
Hey,
could have cut
now
about
that was really fun as a
I could have
kid,
cut
and
an
even
hour.
now I enjoy watching that. That's a fun sequence.
I don't need that fun sequence. There was no fun sequence like that in the first three movies when I was a kid. And I even
Yeah, there
knew that
were.
the Ewoks were stupid when I was 11 years old.
The Ewoks are really silly.
But I can accept silliness, but the Ewoks I can accept more than freaking Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, and the whole I will go down. I will go to my grave believing that Jar Jar was supposed to be something big.
Oh, I think he was too. I think that was the plan. But the problem was he was so dopey and klutzy, and it was like freaking Gilligan and Bugs Bunny put together. That's exactly what it reminded me of. I mean, like he stopped all the robot soldiers from working because he just kind of flipped and fumbled his way through it. Come on, that's just dumb.
Well, that's how they started off with Yoda, but they weren't that hardcore about it. Yoda was like the homeless dumb guy, but then, he turns out to be a master.
Well, I can see why he had to go where he went. That makes perfect sense. But still, just saying.
I know. It's not for you. It's not your. What Jar Jar wasn't there episode 1 for you. He was there for me.
Okay, well, that's what R2D2's for. R2-D2 was cool. He was because he hated everybody. He swore a lot. That's what a kid wants. He don't want some bumbling moron. Kids
Yeah,
hate that.
that's you. If you watched Rebels and you watched Ahsoka, you would fall in love with the new robot Chopper, because Chopper is a mass murderer. He blew up like 6 Star Destroyers. He has the highest kill count of any robot on screen. And he cusses constantly. And like one episode, they're trying to shoot down a ship, and they couldn't shoot it down because it was over a city, and they didn't want the debris going into the city. When has that ever mattered? Um, and they were like having to explain to him why they can't shoot him down in the city. And he's like, so when they said it would hurt people, he's like, and
That was comedy relief when I was a kid. The comedy relief was
beep
C3PO
boop
and
bop
R2.
beep boop.
It was R2-D2 and C3PO. That was the comedy relief. So you can't compare them with the the horribleness of Jar Jar Binks.
I'm just glad the actor kind of got to redeem himself in Mandalorian.
I didn't even finish watching The Mandalorian.
Oh, have you not seen him come back as a Jedi in Mandalorian?
No, I heard about it though, because
Yeah,
that
he
show
redeems
got
himself.
stupid too. They just need to stop. They just need to stop, freeze on everything Star Wars for right now.
I believe Star Wars needs a good. I think I said this at the other podcast. Star Wars needs a good 2 to 3 year break.
They ain't had nothing good since Rogue One came out.
Mandalorian season 1, Boba Fett.
Boba Fett, I didn't even like Boba Fett because all he does is walk around without his helmet on.
The final season of the Clone Wars came out. The Star Wars The Bad Batch.
Like I said, they had nothing out that's been that spectacular and awesome since Rogue One.
Oh, you're not spectacular and awesome.
But if you want to watch something spectacular and awesome, I've got a movie that you should watch, Chris.
Oh, look at that.
It is on Peacock. So you can watch it. Have you been watching Peacock?
I have been.
Good. I think it's on Peacock. It is on Peacock. It is a movie from 1990. It is part of my horror movie marathon. And it is let's see here, written, directed by Frank Henenlotter, written by Robert Martin and Frank Henenlotter, the 1990 classic Frankenhooker.
Yeah. I think I saw that. I actually saw that on Peacock.
It is. It's on Peacock. So what happens is this guy, he's kind of like a med student, kind of hack. He's always doing little experiments and stuff. And he's got a hot-looking girlfriend, and they're at a birthday party for her dad. And they get him a lawnmower. But since he's kind of like this hack, doctor, fix-it-all guy, he makes it so he can, that the guy can mow the grass with a remote control. So his hot girlfriend, it's her dad, she is showing him how the mower works with remote control, turns it on, and it runs her over. And she's decapitated.
Uh-oh.
So he goes out to the streets of New York to try and find a body for his decapitated girlfriend. And he ends up, so he's checking out all these hookers because he wants one with a hot body, or maybe some big boobs or something. So basically what happens is he creates this drug, and the drug is bad. It don't work. Well, the hookers, he's partying with this bunch of hookers, right? Because he's trying to find a body for his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And he's partying with these hookers, and they get a hold of this drug, and they smoke it because they think it's crack. And
of course they do.
All of them just, like, they explode. Like, their bodies explode. So he takes the body parts of the exploded hookers, and he pieces them together into a body and puts his girlfriend's head on it, and she becomes Frankenhooker. So she escapes, and she's walking through the streets of New York, and she's killing people, and till he can finally hunt her down and get her under control, and then wacky hijinks ensues, and it's a really bad movie, but it is a lot of fun. I've watched it before, so I
I was gonna
recommend.
say it sounded really familiar.
I've watched it before, and I highly recommend Frankenhooker for anyone. High School Possession was horrible. Don't even watch that. I didn't even make it to that. And then I watched
What
the
happened in High
original.
School Possession?
Oh, this girl's like she was like angry and stuff. I don't know. I didn't watch it. I was playing on my phone while it was on. It had to do with possession. Like it was a TV movie. Like it wasn't even like good, and it wasn't even
Uh-huh.
scary. She had issues like she banged one of her friends' boyfriends because it wasn't her, which I could try that. If you're all about cheating, just say that you're possessed by the devil, and you can
Oh my
get
gosh.
you can get
Don't
your
be get don't
you
be
can get
giving
your
people ideas.
don't take relationship advice from me anyway, right?
Don't
Um,
take any advice from you.
no, don't really, because I'm terrible. Other than watch the original Dracula from 1931, that is still a great movie. I watched it last night. It's only an hour and 15 minutes long, but what a great movie! It really is. So I highly recommend Dracula. I watched that. That's about all I've watched in the past few days because I went to the festival. So I watched Dracula last night. And I might watch something tonight because the Raiders are on and I'm not watching them. So we can switch gears to football now. Because
Okay. I gotta start off with that Miami ending. Did you
how did
watch that?
I did? What a moron! Who like that's like a Madden move. That's not even like a real
That's like
football move.
I'm trying to pad my stats. Let me run one more time.
Yes,
So for those who don't know, who are they playing? They were playing
Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech. So it was Miami, Georgia Tech. Miami was gonna win. They all they had to do was kneel it out. So they run the ball and the guy fumbles it. And Georgia Tech gets it back. I don't think it was exactly the next play, but Georgia Tech threw a touchdown pass and won. And all Miami had to do was run or knee the ball once.
Yeah, and it would the clock would have ran out.
Yep, because I don't think they had any timeouts left.
And they ran a play. They threw the ball downfield for a touchdown.
Oh, what a! I wish I could have. I wish I could have been in the stands. I wish I could be in
I
that
would have
guy's
loved to have seen
office.
that. How's that guy still have a job?
I don't know. I would think almost any other coach would have been fired that night. Like, don't even don't even do a post game interview. Just pack up your stuff. You're out of here.
Well, he issued. Here's I did this. I just clicked on ESPN. Miami coach Mario Cristobal took full ownership for the. Well, duh. You should take full ownership. Uh, they should have taken the knee to close out the win. Instead, Miami opted to run the ball with 33 seconds remaining and up 20-17. Don Chaney Jr. fumbled. Georgia Tech recovered and went 74 yards in 25 seconds, capping the 23-20 come from behind Yellow Jacket wins with a 44-yard touchdown pass. I made the wrong call. I take full ownership in not taking a knee and giving them opportunity to have a couple extra plays and prevented us from sealing the win. Miami has not lined up in victory formation in any of its 5 games this season, opting instead to hand the ball off.
How many
Wow.
games have they? Are they like? Were they undefeated?
No, they're
Huh.
not. They're 3-2. So they
Hmm.
were 3-1.
Yeah, they were 3-1.
Asked
Well,
why Miami has not lined up in victory formation this season, Crystal Ball said it is something the team does practice. We didn't do it Saturday, and we should have. Holy crap. What an idiot.
dude needs to lose his job. I hate to say it.
Oh, no kidding. Well, tonight it is the Raiders and the Packers. They have not beat the Packers since 1987, I think. Is
Do
what I.
you think this is McDaniel's last game?
If they lose, I hope so because he's starting freaking Garoppolo, which is stupid.
Oh my gosh.
But they spent all that money. Just take the L and just cut him. Like seriously,
Well,
you got O'Connell there. O'Connell could be your future. I think O'Connell is a good player. I liked
Thing.
the draft pick when they picked him. I liked it when they picked him. Let him play.
Yep.
He
Let
almost
Russ cook.
won. He almost won last week. He just made a dumb rookie mistake, and then the freaking coach threw him under the bus because he's an a-hole.
Well,
I don't know. I can't
you guys
imagine
should never got rid
McDonald's.
of what's his face down in New Orleans.
That's what I've been saying that all along.
But yet you're the
I
one
mean,
in the wrong because of his name, Carr. No one likes Derek. No one likes him.
no one liked him. No, it's stupid. You know, they should have either just kept Del Rio or they should have kept Bisaccia. They had something good going there.
Mm-hmm.
Now they've cleaned house. The only thing they've got left is Max Crosby. They're not throwing to Hunter Renfro. It's a mess. That the whole organization is a complete mess. And I bet you half the fans tonight. I will watch the beginning of the game because I want to see how many Packer fans travel to Vegas. And they're like, don't sell your tickets to to people. Don't sell your tickets to fans of the other team. Well, put a good product out on the field for them to watch, and they won't sell their tickets at all.
It's gonna be an away game for the Raiders.
It could be. It very well could be. They're in Vegas, so those Packer fans are, they're rich anyway. Obviously, if they're season ticket holders, those people travel. So Tampa used to have that issue. Tampa still has it. Well, I don't know if they still have the issue now. I know the baseball team has the issue when like when the Yankees or Red Sox come to town to play the Rays. There's always more Yankees and Red Sox fans than Rays fans. And the Bucks, I know they used to have an issue with like Bear fans and Packer fans because they travel to Tampa.
Well, that's how it is if you go to Cubs game in Cincy. I don't know about now since Cincy's good, or are they good? I don't know. I know
They've almost made it to playoffs this year, so they're only a few games out. Well, I mean, but you have people from Indiana that are Cubs fans that travel to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And vice versa. And but an issue in Florida, especially in Tampa, now the Dolphins, they've been around forever, so they have a diehard fan base. Plus, they were really good in the '70s.
Yeah.
But the issue is especially in the Tampa area, you have a lot of snowbirds, retirees, and so they're from New England, they're from New York, they're from Chicago, they're from all of those areas. So those people move, and they follow their teams. That's why baseball. I always said baseball would never work in Florida because you have too. I mean, the Yankees do spring training in Tampa. The Phillies do spring training in Clearwater.
Mm-hmm.
Dunedin has the Blue Jays, which is north of Tampa. Lakeland has the Detroit Tigers. Fort Myers has the Red Sox. So those fan bases have been down there. I mean, the Red Sox used to do spring training in Winter Haven, which is close to Tampa and Lakeland and that area too. So those fan bases have been there long before the Rays ever came to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
So the Buccaneer fans are very much fair weather fans. Nobody wears Buccaneer stuff till they go to the Super Bowl. Then they wear stuff for a couple of years and then they quit wearing them and they quit going to games. So I think the Raiders are in that situation in Las Vegas because it's a tourist town. All their fans are in Los Angeles. Like they showed out against the Chargers.
Well, no matter what, the Chargers are at an away game.
Yeah, well, that's true too. They should have never left San Diego. That was a bad. That was a bad move. That was a really bad move. They had a really good fan base in San Diego. They had a great fan base in San Diego. Actually, should have never left. The Rams, I can understand. They were based out of. That was their original home.
Yeah, St. Louis never. I don't want to say St. Louis never accepted them, but St. Louis is a first and foremost a baseball town.
Right. I mean, they had the Cardinals for years.
Yeah, but when I think St. Louis, I don't think football. Like even when the Rams were there.
Really?
I hate to say it, like I hate to make the one Rams fan that from St. Louis that listens to us mad, but
I remember the Cardinals being there. They had good players. They had
that was before my time.
right. They had a lot of good players. I think Jim Hart was quarterback. I think Otis Anderson was started there before he played for the Giants. Conrad Dobler was there. They just they had randomly good players. Let's put it that way. So
I feel like that's how a lot of teams are. Some teams have there's just those teams that will just all they're known for is a randomly good player they have.
But now we can move on to our Lord help our Colts.
I don't even want to talk about them.
They've drafted a plastic toy that breaks easy.
I just can't. I'm not a. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I think he has talent. I think he has potential.
He's made of glass, dude.
Do I think he warranted our first round pick? No. I think we should have saved that pick, got something else, got a offensive lineman or something, defensive player.
Other quarterbacks available.
There were other quarterbacks that I would have rather had, and I was happy with Minshew. I every time Minshew steps on the field right now, I'm happy. Have they come out and said what's wrong with Richardson?
Yeah, like was it like a not an ACL, but like something like an hold on, I saw it. He's gonna have another evaluation. They say he's gonna be out at least a month, I think. But like Colts say, yeah, he may miss at least Jags game. AC joint injury will miss an undetermined amount of time.
Well, at least we know Minshew can play.
Dude, we're 5 games into the season and he's been hurt twice now.
He doesn't know when to get down and he takes hits.
You cannot. There was an initial fear that Richardson sustained a grade 3 sprain to the AC joint. The team was seeking additional options, including one from orthopedic specialist Dr. Keith Meister, according to sources. Yeah, but still, he's been injured twice now. We're 5 games into the season, and he's already been injured twice. You cannot run that offense and not get your quarterback hurt.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to have, and he's not. I'm sorry, but his throws aren't that accurate. As soon as Minshew came in, I'm like, they're going to win this game. It's exactly what I said to myself. Because he can do it. That's a good system for him. He's got a good offense around him. You know what I mean? He really fits. He fits in that system really well. So I'm happy that they have Minshew. They need to, if they want to make it to the playoffs, they need to keep Minshew in there. That's my opinion.
Yep.
I think they are. I think they can make it to the playoffs. I don't know how deep they can go.
Now
but I think
Taylor signed him back.
Yeah, but the way what's his name played, do they even need him?
No. After that, 55-yard touchdown run?
I mean, it's always good. He got paid. He got what he wanted, and hopefully he can contribute to the team here in the next few games. And he just might.
Well, yeah, I don't think he's gonna be a Zeke, and after he gets paid, not show up.
Right.
But at the same time, that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried we got another Zeke on our hands. Of he's gonna show. He got paid. Now he's not gonna show up.
Well, Burrow did the same thing.
Well, yeah. Jeez, did you see? Was it the number 1 receiver for the Bengals requested a trade?
Really?
Yeah. After that game, he went right to the owner or to the GM and requested a trade.
Well, they won kind of big yesterday, but for a while there, they struggled.
Yeah.
I think Arizona, I think they lost that game themselves. They made a lot of dumb mistakes. But if they struggle against Arizona, who's not that good, that's why they suck against good teams.
Well, they came on late last year too, so maybe they'll flip the switch later.
I think he's more worried about his bling and who he hangs out with and who gives him his clothes than.
He's more worried about he turned.
He's more worried about image. He ain't good enough to worry about his image.
Win a Super Bowl.
He's worried about his brand. I really think he's worried about his brand. That's
Yeah.
why I like. That's why I like Baker Mayfield, and I like Matt Stafford, and Gardner Minshew's another one. You know, they're out there to play the game. They don't care about a brand.
That's what I like about Phillip Rivers too.
You know, they want to play. Derek Carr was that way. You know what I mean? You don't have a brand. He wants to get in, study the film.
I don't know anything about
play the game.
You never heard anything about Derek Carr?
No. So, you know,
other than the bad things people quote unquote leaked about him.
You know, Peyton never worried about his brand. Brady could worry about his brand because he's Tom Brady. He can do whatever he wants. What's his name? Down in New Orleans before he retired, he never worried about a brand either. You know, they do work in their community and they play football.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that they should do. But you know, I really think that Burrow's worried about his brand, and I think he's throwing him off. I mean, he signed that big contract, and look at him. But Richardson, I'll say it's a bad move. And I've been saying it since they drafted him. I don't think he's ready. Look what another year or two of college could have done for him. It could have got him stronger.
Yeah,
it could help him. You know, got some more weight on him, some more meat, some you know, understand the field a little bit better, become a field general like you're supposed to. You know, but
yeah,
that's the NFL's fault for, you know, giving him that. You know, I think a lot of people whispered in his ear, "Dude, you're wasting your time in college. Come play." I think it's a mistake.
He had that one good year, and he probably knew. That, you know.
Let's put it this way. So, what's his name? Who's the guy in New Orleans? What's his name? I forget his name. Drew Brees.
Drew Brees, yeah.
Right. Let's talk about all the quarterbacks that stayed all 4 years of college, and probably could have came out early. Right.
Peyton
could have easily came out.
Drew Brees
could have came out.
Andrew Luck.
Yeah. He could have came out.
Tom Brady.
Nah, Tom Brady, like, nobody even knew who Tom Brady was. He didn't get photographed until the 6th round. Rodgers.
Yeah.
Favre.
Solback.
Eli could have came out early.
Yep.
All of these guys could have came out. Phillip Rivers didn't come out early.
Oh, what's his face? He's playing for the Eagles.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen stayed in all 4 years.
Did he play all 4 years? And
he played all 4 years.
There you go. Did what's his name play? What's his name? Lawrence played. Did Trevor Lawrence? Did he play all 4 years?
No, he came out early.
Did he come out early? Oh, he might have come out. He was a junior though, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think a lot of that is. I think it pays off, especially as a quarterback, to stay all 4 years. You can't tell me that Brady stayed all 4 years in Michigan didn't hurt his career any. Any quarterback that's been a quarterback has not come out early. I'm trying to think of. I don't know of a quarterback who has come out early that's been super successful. That might work as a wide receiver.
Did Mahomes stay all 4?
Yeah, because he came from Texas Tech.
Yeah.
I think he did play.
I'm trying to think who came out early. Russell Wilson stayed all 4, even though he's not as good as he used to be. But you gotta admit, Russ used to be good. I'm just I know there's people that's come out early and been good. What's his face in Baltimore? Oh well, there's plenty. I mean,
Cam Newton.
Cam Newton was good. He came out early. No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
He spent some. He was in there. Then he went to. I don't know. I know he moved around a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he went to Florida. Then he went to Auburn. Right.
He was somewhere in between Auburn. He went to a junior college and then to Auburn.
Right, but he started out at Florida, right?
Yeah, because he was underneath that TiVo team. Is something we need to talk about. Like they need to talk about how that team survived, because it had some interesting characters. Tebow,
It had a lot of interesting characters. All that got
Aaron
swept under the rug.
Hernandez.
All of that got swept under the rug.
Yeah, I want to know more about them.
What do you want to know? I mean,
How
Hernandez got in trouble in
college, and it got swept under the
college.
rug.
So did the twins there too.
Yeah.
No, Andrew Luck came out early.
No, he didn't. He was there for 4 years, I thought.
No, unless he redshirted.
I don't know. I thought he was a senior. No, he did come out early because there was a big thing about him finishing his schooling.
RG3 came out early. There you go. There's another example. That, flashy early. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe people won't come out early anymore now they're getting paid.
Jared Goff and Jameis Winston came out early. Goff isn't bad. He probably could have used. Goff probably could have used another year in college. Bortles came out early. Mariota
Bortles
came
is probably good. He came out early because we would have seen how bad he was.
Marcus Mariota came out early.
Mariota is not bad.
No,
Mariota's a journeyman.
How much seasoning could these quarterbacks have gotten in college if they'd have stayed an extra year? That makes a huge difference.
Well, how do you know they would have been any better if they stayed in college too?
Okay, well, I mean, I'll use hold on, let's see here. I'll give you an example of somebody who came out early and somebody who stayed. I mean, other than.
Well, you're also still going to be nitpicking.
Okay, I'll use Jadeveon Clowney coming out early versus Khalil Mack, who stayed all 4 years. Perfect example.
Let's be honest, Clowney had one play that put him on the map.
But had he stayed, see, Khalil Mack, I heard Khalil Mack talk about this. This is why I bring this up. Khalil Mack said that he's glad he stayed all 4 years because he got stronger because he got older, so he was able to get stronger. He was able to understand the game a little more. He was more seasoned on the field and better prepared once he got into the NFL by staying all 4 years. It helps. It is quite a lot. It ain't like basketball. It ain't like the NBA. You know what I mean? It ain't like hockey. You either got it or you don't. Basketball's the same way. You come out of high school and be successful. But there's only been a handful of guys come out of high school in the NBA that's done any good.
Yeah, they're the best of the best. Kobe,
Kevin Garnett, LeBron, right? Those are the top 3 that came out of high school. How many guys have come out of high school besides those 3 that have not made that status?
Probably more that we can't think of.
Tons of guys out there. And I mean, you have those guys that, go, they go to college and they go to their sophomore year, and a lot of guys leave early. But aside from Jordan, Isaiah Thomas, probably who else? I don't know. He played for 8 million teams. Iverson was another. That's a different story. But those guys are ready for the NBA the majority of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of guys come out early and they don't see anything. So some of them go back to college after they've entered the draft because they don't get picked. So I just think I think college, if you're not the, awesome. I mean, look at Manziel. Another example. Right? So.
Well, I don't think Manziel's another one of those ones. If he didn't come out when he did, they would have seen how bad he actually is.
He didn't even open a playbook. Wasted talent. So it's just sad. And now you've got Richardson. Is he going to last 5 years? If he does, is it going to be all 5 years? Is it going to be with the Colts? Then they release him after his contract's up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They got to be careful with him. But he leaves. Peyton had the pocket. You know what I mean? So did Luck. There's a reason they don't leave the pocket. You don't leave the safety of the pocket unless you absolutely have to. Don't create plays. And that was a draw. That was a draw play that he got hurt on yesterday.
I didn't see it. I was listening to the radio.
Oh yeah, it was a draw. They hiked the ball right to him and he ran. It's a horrible call, and he got hurt. That was it. It was that simple. So you can't do it, man. You can't. It's not. You're gonna have a lasting career as a quarterback. So.
And everybody comes to us like Schefter comes to us for NFL takes.
Well, he should.
So
should the Colts.
Pay us.
Colts? Who's the GM? Who was his name? That guy they should fire?
Oh, I can't think of his name. Irsay.
No, not Irsay. He's not. He's the owner.
Anyways, you can catch us. I'm gonna call it. I think. Let's
poop.
Let's. What?
What do you got? A poop?
Possibly. I did this right after work, so I never got to do my after work poop. You can catch us at Hoosiernerds on Facebook, Pod Nerds on Twitter or X, except for me because I'm still banned, but I might try to unban myself. You can catch us at Hoosiernerds on YouTube, where you can watch and listen to us, or you can watch us at listen to us at your favorite podcasting sites: Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, and Amazon.
There you go. Look at you go.
I know.
And we went a whole episode without bringing up that crazy lady that's, infiltrated herself within the Chiefs organization.
Wow, that's like a first, since the season started.
I know, right?
I thought about bringing something up about it, but next time maybe.
Yeah, please do.
You'll never know who's your nerds.
Because that's us.
That is us.